Global Heroes podcast, The Deep Dive. We explore the stories behind the headlines of our uplifting news features. Don't forget to follow us on social and subscribe to our free newsletter for your regular boost of positivity.
Okay, so let's dig into this. We're looking at sources on a really interesting partnership. It's between Black Diamond, the cheese brand, part of Lactalis Canada, and Food Banks Canada. And our goal here really is to get beyond the surface level. We want to understand the sheer scale of food insecurity in Canada right now. It's staggering. And also how this specific model, this corporate and nonprofit working together, is actually tackling some tough aid delivery problems. Black Diamond, it's been in Canadian kitchens forever, right? A real staple. But what stood out in the sources is how they're now using that legacy, that brand recognition, to address a national crisis, because the need is just huge. Food insecurity has hit levels we haven't seen before. It's this affordability crisis pushing things, meaning it's not just the demographics you might traditionally expect. We're talking full-time working families now needing help just to get basic nutritious food on the table.
Yeah, and the numbers really bring that home. It's one thing to say it's bad, but the data shows how bad. We're looking at over 2 million food bank visits across Canada. Every single month.
2 million.
It's a number that's hard to really wrap your head around.
Yeah.
And get this, nearly 700,000 of those visits each month are for kids.
Ooh, that's tough.
It is. And the overall demand, it's almost double just in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So that points to a systemic issue, a really urgent need for accessible, good quality food.
Right. So responding to that explosion, Black Diamond has stepped up. The sources mention a pledge $75,000 in product and funding combined. And apparently this partnership has already meant about 200,000 meals donated over the last couple of years. But let's push on that a bit. 2 million visits a month. Is $75,000, really moving the needle significantly? Or is it more symbolic?
That's a fair question. And I think the value here isn't just the dollar amount, it's how it's used strategically. That's what the deep dive shows. Black Diamond gives two key things. One is cash, which gives Food Banks Canada flexibility. Think transport costs, unexpected things. But the other, it may be more critical, is the product. High quality dairy. And that's vital because fresh dairy is often one of the first things families have to cut. It's just too expensive for many low-income households. The sources specifically mention inaccessible due to cost.
Okay, so it's targeted. It's not just any food. It's something specific and needed and hard to get otherwise.
Exactly. And this is where Black Diamond's existing setup becomes so important. They're a national brand. They already have this huge, sophisticated distribution network, especially the cold chain needed for dairy.
The logistics, keeping it fresh.
Precisely. That's a massive hurdle for smaller food banks, or even larger ones sometimes. Delivering perishable goods nationwide. That's complex. Black Diamond already does it.
So they bring the product and the delivery know-how.
Right. And Food Banks Canada brings its own expertise, that huge network of over 5,500 local groups, the data on where need is greatest, the relationships on the ground. So they make sure that high-value dairy gets where it's needed most efficiently.
And the sources also stress the impact beyond just filling bellies, right? It's about nutrition. Getting things like calcium, protein, especially to growing kids, stuff that often gets missed when budgets are tight. It supports long-term health.
That's the deeper layer, yes. It's about addressing not just immediate hunger, but those nutritional gaps that can have lasting health consequences. It's about providing dignity, too, offering fresh, quality food. It shows, I think, a shared commitment to trying to stabilize families, make sure basic, nourishing food isn't a luxury.
So pulling it all together, the main takeaway seems to be this blend. You need the corporate resources, like a national dairy supply chain, that logistical power paired with the nonprofit's reach and smart distribution. That combination seems to be what makes it effective in such a massive crisis. It's a model for targeted impact.
And looking at the bigger picture, food banks nationally are increasingly focused on providing fresh, nutritious food. It's become the standard they aim for. Which leads to a pretty challenging thought for you, the listener, to consider. If it now takes major corporate partnerships like this just to get essential, nutritious food like dairy to people through donations, what does that say about the wider system? What's the next step needed to ensure economic stability so families can actually afford these basics themselves, outside of relying on charity? That's it for today's Deep Dive. Want more? Then stay connected with Global Heroes through our newsletter and socials.